Desktop Publishing, Principles of Design. Let's talk about color. Color really is probably the number one thing that makes or breaks good design. We're going to talk about how color can do just that. On the right, you'll see the color wheel, which I'm sure you've seen before. We're going to rely on that color wheel to help us make professional documents. You'll see here that the three main primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. And from those, all other colors are derived. If I click on this link, which are linked in your slides, this takes me to the Adobe Color Wheel. And the Adobe Color Wheel basically allows us to choose colors of our choice or a particular type of scheme to then select colors and see how they work together. If I choose monochromatic, which I'll discuss in a second, and let's say I really am interested in doing blues, the Adobe Color Wheel can give me 5 shades of blue that would look good together on the design. Back to my slide, I'm going to click now on the Canva Color Wheel. So we're using Canva in class, very similar concept. So I can choose a color of my liking, and then I can say I would like the color combination to be monochromatic. It's going to show me other colors that are going to go with my main color. I can then click on Create a Graphic, and it shows me designs that are using those colors. So that can be really helpful in getting you started on what your design might look like once you've chosen your scheme. So what does it look like to be analogous? Analogous is a word that means colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So if you look here, I've given you some examples of what that looks like. They usually match very well and create very serene and comfortable designs. Here are some examples written out of color schemes you might want to use if you're going to do an analogous color scheme. Monochromatic. Monochromatic is one of my favorite. It's all the colors of a single hue. So monochromatic color schemes are usually derived from a single base and then extended either darker or lighter from that single color. And you can see here's a grouping of colors that would go well in a monochromatic color scheme, and here's a flyer designed with that idea in mind. And here's complementary. So complementary are colors that are opposite from each other on the color wheel. So for example, red and green, you see several examples here. The high contrast of those colors create a very vibrant look, especially when used at full saturation, meaning they're not tinted or they're not just using a percentage of that color. They're actually using the full color. I find that these colors remind me of school colors. A lot of schools use complementary colors as their school colors. And here's an example of using complementary colors in a design. Here are some additional examples. Can you take a look at these and guess what type of color scheme they are representing? This concludes our discussion of color.